Hey guys, welcome to DevOps School. Today we are going to learn about Splunk. Splunk is a tool which is used for monitoring, searching, analyzing and visualizing the machine generated data in real time. It can monitor and read different type of log files and stores data as events in indexers. This tool allows you to visualize data in various forms of dashboards. In short, we can say Splunk makes machine data accessible, usable and valuable for everyone.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOps School certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
Let's start with the syllabus. One second. Okay, so Mohammed and Silvian, we are going to follow this document. This is the official document of the Splunk Enterprise Security Training that Splunk team deliver. Also, the training is very costly. It costs around 1.5 lakh per person. That you guys are getting very cheap with me. Okay, with the official documentation.
Okay.
So that's great. Okay, so yesterday most of the points we have covered in I think first 20-30 slide, but I'll go step by step. If I missed anything, I'll let you know. Okay. Getting started with Splunk Enterprise Security. Describe the feature capabilities. I've already described how Splunk ES works, so these things I have already described you. I'm moving ahead. Overview of Splunk security, Splunk enterprise security. I already told you at a high level what it is. So don't go with the documentation part. Okay, there are a number of things written, but at a high level, I have explained you everything what is there in Splunk enterprise security. And throughout the course, once we move on, you will understand better practically how things are working.
Okay.
ES user. So Sylvian, this slide is a bit complicated. So let me give you an overview how the Splunk, how the team works. Mohammed Saif, can you tell me? I explained you last time how a SOC working of a SOC, and what is SOC? Mohammed, you are speaking on mute.
Actually, SOC is
Yeah,
a
go ahead.
hello. The SOC is a security operation center. So here we have a like L1, L2, and L3. So the L1, what they do, they just monitor each and everything, the log which we get receiving from various like router switch. So we just monitor them, and the what will L2 do? L2 just like create the dashboard, and they will forward like they will act like a team leader. They will like check what L1 is doing. So basically, they are the team leader, and they will like forward their like dashboard to the L3. L3 is the senior person. The most senior person is L3, and L2 is the basic, and the L1 is the fresher, we can say, or like he or she has a like 1 to 2 year of experience. Then after the L2 has a like 3 or 4 or 5 year of experience. Then we get this L3. It is the like most like experienced person, the L3. So, so yeah,
Yeah, absolutely right. You are doing great, Mohammed. Team lead.
thank you,
So,
thank you.
Sylvian, the security operation center. So its working is 24 cross 7. It is 24/7. We are sitting. So we are talking about security operation center. There, every time people will be sitting there and doing the regular monitoring job. Okay, checking the incident, regular incident, what all are incident happening, creating alerts, resolving breaches, and all those things. So in that environment, 24/7 working is there, and the people are divided like L1, L2, and L3. L1 are the junior people, freshers are there, 1 to 3 years of experience. Though the guys will be monitoring the console, monitoring the Splunk. Similarly, senior people are there, L2, who are more experienced guy, 4 to 7 or 8 years. They have more experience and they manage the L1, how L1 is working. And L3 is the team lead. So it is managing the overall SOC. He will be seeing whether everybody is doing good work or not. This is the high level architecture of a security operation center. Clear it is, Sylvian?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Now this is the same slide. It's a bit complicated, so don't worry about it. This is the real production environment. That's how it is. Okay, here I have written shift lead. So in 24/7 there are three shifts: morning shift, afternoon shift, and night shift. So in every shift, one L2 will be there and he will be leading the shift. Whole shift operation depends on him, and L3 is the overall responsible person. Okay, yeah. Moving ahead. Uh, okay. So here, Sylvian and Mohammed, I request you to go through the CompTIA Security Plus and the security concepts. Okay, so what this slide is telling at a high level, I'll give you a high level. Might be you guys will not be able to understand, but at a high level, it is telling you what all. Okay, let me give you one more thing as a bonus, since you guys are with me. Cyber kill chain. I don't know you guys have heard about it or not, but this cyber kill chain, you guys can be asked in interview as well. So remember this, Sylvian, you are writing notes. Please note this down. Cyber
Yes.
kill chain is one of the important kill chain. And Mohammed Saf in the organization, this kill chain is utilized heavily for creating the use cases. Okay, so you guys read it separately. Go through the YouTube website and learn it more. I'm giving you a high level overview. So in cyber kill chain, there are 7 steps. What this cyber kill chain, guys, Sylvian and Mohammed, throughout the course, I will be using layman language. I'll not be going into the technical jargons and all. I'll be using layman language and all. Okay, so uh, Um, what it is basically how an attacker will attack your environment. This is the main thing. The cyber kill chain is explaining how an attacker will attack your network. What all are the steps he is going to do? Okay, first step is recon. We call it reconnaissance, where the hacker will be observing your network. He will be checking, okay, what all IP addresses are there to this, or for example, there is an organization HCL and a hacker. I am the hacker. Mohammed Shahrukh is the hacker. I will be analyzing the HCL network. How many devices are there from the external? I'm analyzing whatever publicly available information is there. I will be checking it. I will be gathering information about the organization. Then weaponization, coupling exploit with background. Now I am creating a malware here. Once the malware is created, deliver it through email, through USB. I will be delivering it to the organization HCL. Okay, after this, third point, after this is over. The fourth point is exploitation. Okay, now once the malware is delivered, okay, next point is we have to exploit it. Exploit means we are taking advantage. There is a you can say weakness in the organization. I am exploiting it. Okay, this is the exploitation. Once I am successfully able to exploit it, I will be installing the malware. Once the malware is installed, the sixth step will be command and control. Once the malware is installed in the environment, the next step, what these malware and ransomware do, Mohammed and Sylvian, is they will connect to the outside world. They will be transferring the data. He will be stealing the data from my organization. Okay, that's what is command and control. He will be connecting to the to his boss, and after this connecting, action or objective, whatever the my objective was there, that I should get this information, that information. So one more additional information that I would like to give you, since you both are in learning phase. So I hope you have heard about Iran. Iran created a nuclear site. So there is a too much dispute going on between whole world and Iran. So Iran is developing nuclear weapon. They have developed their nuclear plants. After the first step in nuclear weapon is first create the nuclear plant for energy. The next step, once the nuclear plant is created, they will go for the advanced phase, that is nuclear weapon creation. Okay, so what the whole world don't want Iran to get this nuclear weapon, but Iran wants to create it. They said that we will create it. So Israel is one of the biggest enemy of Iran. Israel and American, you can say. So they created malware. Okay, they created a malware. And one more thing, I would tell you, Iran, the nuclear power plant is under all these stuffs. This critical infrastructure is under the military, under the Iran's military, or whatever country is there under the military's control is there, and too much restriction is on there. Nobody can come in, nobody can go out inside the labs and everything. But Israel and America, they combinedly created a malware. Its name is Stuxnet. So you should also read about it. Sylvian, please note this down. Stuxnet and Iran. So what these guys did is basically they created a malware, and they, with the help of USB, they transferred it. They I think got one guy from the plant. They manipulated him, or I don't know how it got inside it, but people say it is through USB. They, through with the help of USB, they transferred the malware into the power plant. And what malware did for the first 30 days, the malware remain dormant. Dormant means it did nothing. I think not 1 month, for 1 year. After that, accordingly, see what these nowadays what malware are doing. We have antivirus and all this stuff. Malware are also intelligent. They will try to hide themselves. Okay, so after 1 year, malware started activating itself and it destroyed. So in power plant, there are means some manufacturing processes there. It changed the temperature, it changed the rotating frequency, and it destroyed the whole the important nuclear power plant, the machinery there inside it. So according to one of the report, Iran says that Israel says that this Stuxnet attack has brought Iran 10 years back into his study. Okay, they have destroyed most of their centrifuge for creating the power plant. So this is one of the example that I'm giving you. Similarly, there are a number of the things. Okay, so yeah, is it clear, Cyber Kilchen?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay,
it
now
was.
coming back to this page here, ES functional areas. So it is telling you at perimeter defense, preventive analysis, breach response. Perimeter defense means I am defending myself at the perimeter. Preventive analysis, okay, if I got breach, how to prevent it. And the second thing is that the third thing is if breach happened, how to respond. So perimeter defend, there are known threats, there are vulnerability alert, unexpected prohibited process, threat activity, risk framework. For all these things, in Splunk ES, I have this component: security posture, correlation search, threat intelligence. We'll see one of them one by one. This is a high level overview. Preventative analysis, how I can prevent the attack if it happens. I have predictive analytics, insider threat analysis, advanced threat analysis, risk analysis. These functions are there. This bottom slide explain. These functions are there in in Splunk ES. Okay, that's the main overview of this slide. Just 1 second. Give me a second. Okay. Security operational support. So this is also additional slide. Function is monitor, detect, investigate, respond. So this is the general scenario here. We are monitoring 24/7. Once once something got detected, it needs to be investigated, and accordingly we have to respond. Okay. Here he just mentioned the review is there, determine, decide, act, and adapt. So just a basic overview, not much. Here the important thing is this one, Mohammed and Sylvian. This is the important thing here.
Okay.
Advanced persistent threat. So Mohammed and Sylvian, please note this point, and it can be asked in the interview. So advanced persistent threat, APT. So a growing global threat aimed at undetected insertion, long-term viability, extraction, delivery of valuable information. So APT are the advanced type of threat. Sorry, 1 second. Repeat it. Yeah. So APTs are the advanced type of threat. The similarity lead to Stuxnet. There is Petya ransomware, WannaCry ransomware. Please, I request you both to please learn about three of them. Equifax is there, Petya is there, WannaCry is there. Okay, they mainly target business and government, high value business and all these things. They have many evasion technique. They try to evade the anti malware solutions. They try to evade the detection things. Okay, these all things they are trying to evade. They are advanced threats. Okay, they are collectively called APT. So please read about them for more information. The kill chain, I already explained to you. This is not important. The thing that you have to learn is this one. Please exactly learn this one, these phases. Sylvian, you should remember these phases: reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, this thing. Okay, the slide is not important. And here it's written at the bottom at this is the most important thing. Both attacker and defender can use the kill chain methodology. Attacker will attacker will uh, will understand the cyber kill chain and will attack accordingly. He knows, okay, I have to do the reconnaissance once, then weaponization. How a defender will how a defender will utilize the cyber kill chain? Tell me, Sylvian and Mohammed, how as a defender, as a Splunk monitoring person, L1 analyst or L2 analyst, how you are going to utilize it? It's written. It can be used by both. Just tell me, whatever is coming to your mind.
We'll check how that hacker came in our organization. Where is the vulnerabilities? Like, what was the leak point? How they came?
Okay, great. Sylvian, your view?
Yes, according to me, knowing the kill chain, I think that we are going to compare the event, what is going on right now, and try to
Yes,
match it
yes,
with
yes. Right.
the
Absolutely
different
right.
phase of the kill
Actually,
chain.
you can say the higher the attacker reach in the kill chain, the more impact it will create on the organization. If he is communicating to the CNC, if you see, okay, he is communicating to the CNC, it has breached all the parameters.
Okay.
Understand? Impact
Yes.
is very high. I have to respond immediately. That's how I can understand. I can utilize the cyber kill chain as a defender. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. Uh, so this is not this is just a general example it is showing. Um, Threat intelligence, network security. So not an important slide. I'm skipping this one. How ES work? So I already told you, security related data is acquired by add-ons. So what's your name, Sylvian? If you have done this Splunk admin, you should have known about the add-ons. Okay, so I hope you have this knowledge. So how ES is working basically is ES has pre-built alerts for detecting threats and vulnerabilities. Threats, vulnerabilities, attacks. It has pre-built alert that are running either real time or a scheduled interval. Okay, to detect the threats, vulnerabilities, and attack. I'll show you the alert part also. Uh, ES use cases. So there are multiple use cases. Sylvian and Mohammed, one thing here, the alerts. For example, malware detected on a machine. This is an alert that I created on Splunk. At high level, when you talk to the sim guys in your interview and all, so basically they will also refer it as use case. It can be called as an alert as well as a use case. Okay, clear this part?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So similarly for malware protection, detection, patient zero identification, multiple things are there in Splunk. So let's see. Well, we'll be seeing some of the use cases, so don't worry about it. This thing I already told you in the last class, how the firewall proxy is working, how the intrusion detection. I didn't tell you about intrusion detection, I think. Sylvian, please note it down. You have to learn about IDS and IPS. I skipped it last time. Let me open thing. Um, uh, Sylvian and Mohammed, do you know the difference between a firewall and an IPS IDS?
No.
Firewall is like secure us from unauthorized network which coming from like unauthorized public, like we can say the public network. So it secure our organization. And the what IPS and IDS do, like there is a layer, we can say there is a 3 or 4 or 5 layer which work as a firewall, but for the advanced security we use IPS and IDS. And what IDS do, like they detect if something is happened, but they don't prevent, they just detect, like yeah, we got the this IP address and it's infected, or it's a malware, or it's a bad like IP address. And what IPS did, they prevent they prevent us from that what we can say the malware, or which we receive as some malicious activity
Yeah, absolutely right.
according to me.
Absolutely right. But yeah, it's a theoretical knowledge. Yeah, absolutely good. Thanks, Mohammed. So Sylvian and Mohammed, Mohammed just use a very good term, layered approach. For securing our environment, we are using a layered approach. If one layer fail,
Okay.
we have a second layer. If my firewall fail, I have the IPS and IDS. If IPS and IDS fail, I have inside the anti-malware solution. So in a security in an organization, we always use a layered approach. So please note it down. Now, if I talk about IPS and IDS, I'm sorry guys, I'm going off topic because you guys have little knowledge on the this front. I'm also giving you this knowledge, but this is not part of the syllabus. But anyways, Cillian, do you want me to cover this part, or shall I leave it? Shall I move to ES only? Your wish.
I think it's good.
Okay, okay. So, Mohammed, this is my firewall. It is monitoring the inbound traffic and the outbound traffic. Now, when we talk about IPS and IDS, let's understand what is an IDS. IDS and IPS. IDS stands for intrusion detection system. It will detect the intrusion. IPS is intrusion
Channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan, and grow your skills immensely.
prevention system. It is preventing the attack. So inline to the firewall, okay, based on the network architecture, the IPS and IDS either can be before the firewall or after the firewall. They are inline to the firewall, but the position can be inside or outside, depends on the team whoever is configuring it. So if the traffic passes out through the firewall, the IPS IDS modules are there. They are again checking the traffic. Okay, this is the layered approach. If something got missed by firewall or some malicious user crafted the packet like this, it can be easily captured by IPS, and even he can prevent the attack. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So similarly, there are multiple things. Okay. Correlation search. So this is the most important thing, guys. Correlation searches run in the background looking for specific type of threat, vulnerability, or sign of malicious attack. Searches can run in. This is what is detecting the threat on Splunk. ES ships with many correlation searches which can be modified or extended as needed. So there are multiple correlation searches that Splunk ES comes with. Okay. An alert is triggered which creates a notable event. So I'll show you this one. Just one second. Notable events is the one. So what I'm trying to show Muhammad and you, Sylvian, is this is my Splunk enterprise security. Okay. So if I go here, Sylvian, there is no data in this. What happened? In your, do you have some data, Sylvian? Uh, Actually, it should show me data here at the bottom. Data
Oh,
is missing from here. You just log into the other IP and just check it once.
yeah, I'm going to check mine. Right.
Actually, it will show the data. Currently, it is not having any data, so we can't do much in this case.
It's the same thing. Mine has no data.
Okay. No issues. I have to check it then. Enterprise security is not fetching the data. What's the issue? Actually, it will come pre-built with the data, the sample data. Just 1 second. No issues. So whatever we can cover, we'll cover. Rest we'll see. Not an issue. So here, Sylvian, now focus on my screen, guys. Sylvian,
Okay.
please focus on my screen. Leave whatever you are doing.
Yes.
Here in the configure tab, what I want to see is basically this incident review. There will be multiple incidents will be shown if I have the data. Now, if I want to see the alerts, the correlation searches that set up, what I'll do, I'll click on this content. Here, the content management. So it is loading. See here, Sylvian and Mohammed, if I click on this type, I will be selecting correlation search here. Now you see there are 60 pre-built use cases. You read it, abnormally high number of endpoint changes by the user. Similarly, activity from expired user identity, account deleted, brute force behavior detected, excessive DNS failure, excessive DNS queries. You understanding it, guys? High number of criticality hosts with malware detected, high number of infected hosts. These are the pre-built use cases that comes in this enterprise security. Okay, 60 use cases are there. Depending on your requirement, you can create more as well.
Okay.
Okay, this is the main thing here. Same thing is mentioned here. So these are the correlation searches. It's written. Once they trigger an alert, you will see an alert here. Okay, in this incident review page. Right now it is not showing. I have to check it. What happened? So once it starts generating the alert, basically uh, it will be called as notable event. Okay, once it converts into an incident, it will be called as notable event. Okay, okay. And one more thing, where all this index is equal, where all this data, if you want to see the data with your bare eyes, so you can do is search here, search tab here. Index is equal to notable. This is the one where all your notables that are getting triggered, okay, that will be shown here. Okay, right now it is not showing. I have to check it once from the back end. Actually, what happened? Uh, let's see. Not an issue. 1411. Just let me troubleshoot if I can. Just 1 second. No, generally, it should work fine. On this only, I have delivered multiple classes. Uh, okay, not an issue. Let's move. Assets and identities. At a high level, Muhammad and Sylvian, assets are the devices. You can just mention in this Splunk. Yes. So guys, one more thing. If you are working in security operations center, Mohammed and Sylvian, Mohammed also, the main thing that you will be working is on this page, incident review page. Still, there are multiple things, n number of things. I'm also working in a security operations center as a team lead, L3. Okay, I have never means I never never found a chance, or there was no scene where where I have to reach to other tabs. But yes, you should have the knowledge of other tabs as well. Mostly in my day-to-day task, my L1 and L2, they will be busy with this incident review page only, managing the incidents that are getting triggered. Okay. So, but still, yeah, you should know everything. So assets are like your devices. routers, servers. Identities are the username and email address. Okay, you can utilize them also while working with the Splunk ES. That's the main thing from this slide. Okay, ES provides many advanced tools you can use to examine security data in real time, such as risk and threat analysis, web and user intelligence, protocol intelligence, adaptive response. These all things are also there. So if I go here, security intelligence, protocol intelligence, threat intelligence, user intelligence, web intelligence, risk analysis, all this stuff Splunk is giving to you. Okay, these tools help you. See guys, if you see the normal SIM, ArcSight QRadar, these are functionalities. When we move towards in this class, you will understand better. These functionalities will not be there. But here you are getting n number of things. You are managing the ticket centrally from Splunk ES. Okay, these all things are important for a SIM. They have give you complete control, complete different kind of dashboards, reports to check the data. Okay. ES role. So basically there are 3 roles on the ES. So if you have learned the Splunk admin, you already know about the user, power user and admin role. So ESS user, he basically the L1 runs real-time searches and view all ES dashboards. So not in L1 basically. For example, there is one more web team in my organization. They just want to see the dashboards or the alerts. They just have the access to see it. They will be given the ESS user role. So here it has given the mentioned equivalent. It is equivalent to user, it is equivalent to power, and it is equivalent to admin. If there is an L3 or L2 in the team, he will be having the ESS admin role. He will be having access to everything. Okay. So high level overview. So this is the role on Splunk Enterprise, and this is the role at the top at the Splunk Enterprise Security. Accessing ES, so it's very easy. The host name, the IP address, and semicolon the port. Okay. So that's how you access. Similarly, how you access the Splunk, similar way you access the Splunk ES. Splunk ES homepage. So this is the homepage, security posture. Let it load. Splunk Enterprise Security C. Security posture, incident review, app configuration, documentation, community, product tour. Everything is visible here, guys. Security posture. One point to note, Sylvian, please note the security posture. You just have to learn about it. Basically, if you click here, see real-time status of the organization security posture over the last 24 hours. If I click on this one, now this will give you an complete overview of the Splunk security posture. See, right now the data is not populating. I have to check it, but this is a pre-built dashboard that I'm getting. Notable event by urgency. So, uh, Mohammed, do you know about the priority of the incident or urgency? This priority and urgency is same. Can you just shed some light over what is priority in your meaning related to the incident?
Like priority, like we can say P1, P2, and P3. So
Right.
like yeah, then P4, like the P1 which we have to like take incident at a time, like on a time, on a half an hour we have to take like response within a time, within a half an hour, or like within a half an hour we have to look into that matter. And like P2, P3, and P4, like they are least, we can just like say that it's like false positive or true positive, we have to work according to that, but P1 is most important according to me.
Yeah, absolutely right, Mohammed. So Sylvian, so P1, P2, P3, P4 are priority. So in some organization, it is also called as urgency. Okay. So based on the incident, priority can be higher. If a malware is detected, it can be P1. I have to respond within 30 minutes. This 30 minute is called as SLA, service level agreement. Please note this point also, SLA, you have to read about it. So within the time frame, I have to work. That's what it is. So notable events by urgency, it will give you a count here. Notable events over time, it will give you a count here. It is giving you a very beautiful dashboard. Okay, so if I want to show you Splunk, yes. Not to worry about Mohammed and Sylvian. I'll check why this data is not populating. I'll show you this. Yes, security posture. See, it will look like this. See, access notable, endpoint notable, network notable. Notables are incidents or alerts that are triggering. It is giving you a real time 24 hours data. It is showing you plus 375. There are 375 extra incident or notables that got triggered in past 24 hours compared to previous 24 hours. It is comparing 2 days data. It has increased plus 375 compared to the previous 24-hour data. Okay. Notable event by urgency, critical, high, medium. This is the urgency priority, you can say. It is giving you a high level overview of the security posture of my organization. Notable events over time. How many notable events got triggered? Top notable events. These are the top events that got triggered. Watch listed events observed. Excessive failed logins happening in my organization. Top notable event source, from where this event is happening, on which machine it is happening. You getting it, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
And one more thing: access notable, endpoint notable, network notable, identity notable, audit notable, threat notable. Every notable is having a meaning here, guys. Access notable means notable or alerts related to the access. Access means uh, access notable means someone is accessing something. Login events, all the login alerts, login events, brute force event, changing something, changing a file name, deleting a file. They are considered as access notable. Endpoint notable, something detected on the machine. A malware is detected on a machine. Okay. An infection is detected on one of the machine. It is called as endpoint notable. Network notable, data is coming in, going outside. Some internal IP is communicated with some external IP. It is called as network notable. Identity notable, so it's similar to access notable. Just basically, I'm creating a new user account in the organization. Identity notables. Audit notable, some audit related thing. Threat notable, some threat is there. So this is a high level overview. So basically, one more thing, Mohammed and Saf, notable events over time. Access audit, same thing is mentioned here. The use cases that you are seeing here, configure, content. So these notables is the same thing. These use cases, content management. Correlation search. If I click on this correlation search, okay, let me click on this one. Where is the categorization? Uh, Actually, I wanted to show you, these are the access notable. I'll check it later. So guys, what is happening here? What I want to show here, this snapshot that I'm showing to you. Sorry, this one. These access notable. So actually, what is happening in real time is basically, let it load. These correlation searches, these are categorized at high level. This is endpoint notable. This is when this trigger, this will be a network notable. You understanding my point, both of you? They are categorized
Yes.
already. Okay, yeah, thanks.
Okay.
So this is a high level overview of this thing. Security posture, incident review, whatever notables are triggering, what all incidents are there, everything you are going to see into the incident review page. App configuration, anything you want to change, any configuration you want to change, you want to modify the use cases, you are going to see in the app configuration page. Similarly, documentation, if you want to see the documentation related to Splunk ES, you are not able to understand anything, you can click on this documentation page. Community, you need support. So basically, Sylvian, I don't know you exactly know or not, but I suggest you after this course, please go for the Splunk admin training also. Okay, yeah, no issues. Community support. So basically, Splunk is having a very great community. Community means if you have any question, you post it on Quora. Quora website is there. You post your question there, you get answer. Similarly, Splunk is having its own community where you can post your question and you can get the answers from there. Product tour, so it's a recorded video. So if you want to see this Splunk ES, a short 5-10 minute video, you can have this also. Okay. Correlation searches. So I already showed you this part. What all correlation searches are there? This is not important. This is also not important. Yep, this is important. So whatever incidents are getting triggered, Sylvian, whatever incidents are getting triggered, if you want to see it, if you want to see it in search, so you can see it like this: index is equal to notable. This is the index, this is the compartment on the Splunk where you can see all the alerts that got triggered. Okay, this is where you will see all of them. Index is equal to notable. How to reach this page inside Splunk Enterprise Security is search here. Here just type index is equal to notable and you will be able to see it. But what we can do, we are not able to see it right now. We have to check it why it is not updating the data. It is 0, but it will show the events, the incident review, the thing that you are seeing here, it will show the same. Okay. Lab exercise 1. Lab exercise 1. Introduction to Splunk, introduction to ES. So guys, you already have access to the Splunk ES. Please check it once, and you can just check these basic things. Okay. Yes. So moving ahead to the next page, use security posture dashboard to monitor enterprise security. So these things we are going to see. Use incident review dashboard to investigate notable event, take ownership of an incident, move it through the incident workflow. Monitoring and response. ES, so guys, ES continually runs correlation searches for known types of threats and vulnerability. 60 correlation search type built in, plus you can create your own. When a correlation search detects an indicator of compromise, ES creates an alert called notable events. So this is the one thing. When a correlation search detects any indicator of compromise, IOC, when any of the IOC is detected, ES creates an alert and called a notable event or an incident. You can call it anything, either notable event or incident. Okay. When the, so what happens in correlation searches is basically we are defining some condition. When the condition met, the incident get triggered. Okay. ES enables you to track, update, and resolve incident. So security posture dashboard provides a cross-domain SOC overview. Incident review dashboard to inspect and manage the incident. Okay. So yeah. Security posture dashboard. So I already gave you a high-level overview. And one more thing, if you're going for certification, it will ask you the data that is shown here. It is for 24 hours. Please remember. Okay. Key indicator. One more thing. If it's increasing, it will show in red. See here. Read the bottom line. Current total count of event, trend of event, and total increase or decrease over the past 48 hours. So yep, so if it is increasing for the previous 24 to 24 hour back, 48 hours, previous 48 hours, if the count was 2, but after 24 hours, recently it increased to 4. Here it will show you red and it will show you +2. If the count has decreased as compared to past 24 hours, it will show as green and a -3 will be there. Clear to you? If there are no changes, if there are no changes, it will be 0.
Okay.
Okay. This is the security posture. So guys, for this I need the access to the Splunk. This Splunk is not working properly. What to do here? Search this. Actually, I have to troubleshoot it. I don't know why. It is not getting the data. Hello, Sylvian.
Yes.
I don't know, man, why it is not populating. I have to.
Even mine is not returning any data.
That's the issue, man. Why it is not upload? Actually, it should give the data. I don't know why it is not giving the data.
Can we go for break? Like,
Yeah, Mohammed, you can go for break.
okay.
I think otherwise I have to cancel the today's class because without this we can't go ahead. Sylvian,
But in the evening we will continue, na?
we need the data, Mohammed, to continue. If it
Okay.
is not getting the data, there is no point to continue.
Okay.
We're just gonna wait for
Mohammed, please go on mute.
the message.
Sylvian,
Yes, you're gonna send us
Yeah.
like a message to let us know when we're gonna start again.
can you repeat what you said?
Yeah, are you just gonna send us like an invite again or a message or
No.
to let us know
What
when
I
we're
am
gonna
going to do is I am closing the class for today because data is not there, Sylvian. That's the issue.
Okay.
By default, it should show the data. But here it's not showing the data. But without data, I can't teach you.
Okay, no problem.
That's the issue. I'll troubleshoot meanwhile. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Just let us know when we're gonna have the next class.
Sure. I'll message you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye.
If you have liked our Splunk session so far, please enroll for our channel membership 399 plan to get access of all the parts. Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest.
Thanks for watching.